What's up, y'all? Mr. Moetown Lee back with the opinionated, well, Motown's a-hole opinion of the week. We're going to talk about some things that went on this week, things that have been going on lately. Since the last time you see me, um, shout out to everybody that's, been supporting. Like, comment, subscribe. Um, just run through some things. I don't know what y'all been doing, but today I had a bounce. I bounced back from. I had a procedure on both my knees, so I ain't been in the gym and none of that. And today I actually rode my bike 30 something miles. Shout out to Steve West, uh, Tony, and somebody who will not be named on this show. Um, let's do the rundown, man. Let's do the rundown. It's been going on. T.I., the King, new album came out. Kill the King. I actually, you know what? After listening to it a few times, I actually really like the album. Um, I think that he has some dope highlights. Um, I think this is supposed to be. I think this is supposed to. Shout out. First of all, shout out to KP. Um, rest in peace, Clay, Tip, and the whole Grand Hustle Squad. Um, this is supposed to be Tip's last album. Do I think it's really gonna be Tip's last album? I don't know, but I think for a fan, people that are fans of Tip, you may want to go and get this. If this is Tip's last hurrah, you probably want to definitely go get tickets to his show. Um, check this album out. Really support it because a lot of legends, a lot of our legends are talking about you know hanging up the cleats and not playing and not playing in this game no more, man. This game is crazy. And it's just changed a lot. Shout out to Tip. Speaking of Tip, um, Tip he was on the Breakfast Club. I think they had a little tit for tat with another ATL homeboy, Ray. I won't get into the tit for tat. I won't get into the beef. Get in between the beef. I hope that I'm calling it beef, but I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's just you know two cats that are well respected in both what they do. Um, just having like a mix of opinion, man. Two grown men. I don't think it's a big issue. And they probably by this time y'all see this, they probably already talked or whatever. Um, I don't really think it's a big deal. But I do think when you get behind these mics, we probably say things. We say things in a moment. We say things based on our opinion. I don't think it's really supposed to be. Sometimes it can be taken personal when you make a direct like attack on a person's character or whatever, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes just like me and the guy who I won't say his name, like our show, opinions alike. Everybody got one. Opinions alike, a-holes. Everybody has one. Um, and for anybody to get upset about somebody else's opinion, man, like just because they have opinion, that does not mean that their opinion of you or your album or whatever is true. It's just their own personal thought. They can't say what a person is going through or anything like that. I do actually like the album. Tip is doing on tour, and hopefully, them brothers had a conversation by now. Again, I don't think it's a big deal. Uh, I think it was just probably, you know, in the moment question that was asked by the Breakfast Club and things of that nature, and then somebody else saying something that was behind the mic. That's what these podcasts and these shows is for. Just because people had these opinions, a lot of times, man, people have no idea. And I'm not saying this has nothing to do with rape, but I'm saying a lot of times people get behind this mic and don't know what the fuck that they're talking about. I realize um, with shows, with YouTube, podcasts, and all these shows that a a lot of people have no idea what the fuck they be talking about. They just talking about, they sit up here and they be talking about relationships. Fuck they talking about, never been married, been ran through, all kinds of shit. People don't know what the hell they talking about when they talking about sports, when they talking about entertainment, and they talk about the business. They have no idea. They got out here giving some bad information. And it's sad that it's a lot of them that are popular that are out here giving misinformation. You know what I mean? And you just got to like really dig deep and dig for, what you think is right. You know what I mean? Don't be taking the word for that shit. You know what I mean? Even me, I might say some shit that's based on my opinion. I might say some shit that may be factually wrong. It's not rooted in hate, or it's not rooted in me and my intention to mislead, but some things can happen. Some things are said as a joke, and shit can be taken out of context. You know what I mean? Some things are not a joke. Some things are serious. Like, I have my opinion on a lot of different things. You know what I mean? So I'm one of them people who really don't care what you think about my opinion, if you like it or not, like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's my opinion. It could be my opinion to you. It could be my opinion of, like, this restaurant. It could be my opinion of anything. And, you may like it or you may not. Speaking of my opinion, and speaking of where we are as far as industry, my opinion is this. All my industry, this goes out to, like, all my industry brothers and sisters. Like, we gotta find a way. We gotta get together. And I'm not saying like there's some discernment, there's people we split. I'm saying we have to find a way to get together and take back our industry. There's if you look, I'm having too many people that I love, too many talented people, smart people, people that have done amazing things in this industry, losing jobs, and it's not based on the merit of what they've done or have not done. It's all based on, like, politics. It's all based on economics. It's all based on capitalism. But it's also based on there's a fault. We are at fault. You know what I mean? When it comes to these records, this record industry, I say we are at fault because we allow some things to go on for far too long that shouldn't have gone on. When you look at, you start with artists, and I want to, what aboutism or back in the dayism, but we got to go there. It starts with artists. Artists have become lazy, and we allow this shit. We allow them to be lazy. Artists been lazy, they been on the bench. And what I mean by that is, like, if you look around, I don't think that I think the last class of the hip hop R&B superstar, the last class of superstars. I don't mean stars. I don't mean people that can sell out a show here and there or whatever, do a cool tour. I mean people that's that has some fans, right? When you think about superstar, I'm talking about, like, big stars, like Stop the Presses, this person out. I think the last school of superstars that we have seen or will see was or is the Kendricks, the Coles, the Dreezys, the Drakes, the Tyler, Travis Scott. They're all pretty much in the same class, right? They're all in that same class. Chris Brown, all those guys are in the same class. I think that class is the last hip hop and R&B true superstars. Nicki Minaj is in that class. The last hip hop and R&B superstars. I mean, like, and it's because, and this is based on my opinion, it's because to build a superstar, it takes work, it takes years. Drake, Nicki, Dot, Cole, All those cats went through the trenches to get where they at, right? To build their fan bases, to build their superstardom, from rapping on mixtapes, in their respective area, from doing mixtapes to doing the shows, to opening for people, doing the 100, 200 people. Cole, still does the Dollar and the Dream joints. Like, you have to work to become this plateau of superstar. Michael Jackson is the biggest star that ever walked the planet. And even Mike did promo. Janet Jackson, as big as she is, even her last project, she went on a promo run. She did the interviews. She did the circuit. Now you look at artists right now, they just sit on the bench. I ain't doing, like, unless they're getting paid, they don't want to do interviews. And there's a reason, and we'll get to the reason that people don't want to, sometimes they don't want to do interviews, but we got to stop being lazy. I don't want to do interviews. They don't want to shake hands and kiss the babies. They don't want to do the promo run unless it's beneficial. But the benefit is you're creating a fan base. You're getting here and you're getting to know the people for free. Everything don't have to add up to the dollar. It's going to eventually add up to the dollar in the long run. You know what I mean? But you have to get out here and do what it takes to become a superstar. It takes work. And when getting back to the industry, we allowed it. We allowed this shit. You know what I mean? We allowed these artists to sit on the bench and not hold them responsible. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, they had a lot of views. They came in with a little bit of popularity. But that ain't no fucking real popularity. That ain't no superstar. You know what I mean? Just because you got some followers, that doesn't equate to numbers. And we know what it takes to get to the superstar numbers. So now we allow them to sit on the bench, right? We allow them to sit on the bench, and then, we getting their music through social media or whatever. This is how, not going around creating, fans, not going around taking these guys on promo runs. So now you eliminate that. So once you eliminate that and you eliminate the promo runs, you're eliminating like a big part of the PR department, the promo department. You know what I mean? Then when it gets to the promo department and the program department, you know what I mean? We got lazy. We not breaking records. It's not built on relationships and shit no more. You know what I mean? So when you sitting around and you're a programmer and I come to you, you know what I mean, with a record, it's a smash. I don't know. You know what I mean? We, like, the PDs and the DJs stop going with their gut. You know what I mean? It's easy to fucking break a Beyonce record. Nigga, look, I was the first one to play the Beyonce record. Nigga, everybody in the fucking world was going to eventually play this record at this point. But what about all these other records that are amazing? You know what I mean? And I won't say why or why not you don't play the record, but it's your responsibility. It's a fucking DJ. It's the reason I stopped DJing consistently, because that shit became niggas start trying to program me. The promoters in the club, people, like, hey man, could you play this record? Nigga, I played the shit an hour ago. Play it again. No, fuck that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it started being, the club started being like the radio, and it started being programmed. So I was like, man, fuck this shit. As a DJ, it is my job. I'm the first to get the records. I'm getting shit from the record pools. I'm getting shit, this is before DG Wax and all that, but I'm getting shit from record pools. I'm getting shit from the label. I'm the first one that's getting this record. I'm the fucking gatekeeper of breaking this shit. So I'm getting these records instead of me doing my job, like listening to this shit, finding what I like, what the shit can blend with or whatever, and breaking this shit in the club, at the parties. I'm just like, whatever. I'm like, man, I ain't doing that shit. And this is what people are doing now. They ain't fucking breaking records. So if you ain't breaking no records in the local market, you're not introducing the people in the club to the local market shit, or not even just the local market, but the next thing. I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need the DJ like I used to. I don't need the local programmer, the program director in these markets. I don't need the MD. I don't need these guys. I can program the shit from New York. I can have one programmer that's programming all these stations. Even though it's asinine to think, because you really can't. Because what people bump in Memphis ain't necessarily what they all. They gonna bump, the major shit. You know what I mean? Those top few artists, but there's other artists like that in Memphis. They gonna bump. They ain't bumping in Atlanta. They ain't bumping in LA. You know what I mean? So now you take out the local aspect of the market in the industry. So now, okay, fuck it. I don't need no programmer in Memphis. I don't need no programmer in New Orleans. I just need one programmer to program this market, and you could program multiple markets. That's bullshit. We got to get away from that. You know what I mean? We starting to see that. And because of that, now we're starting to see promo departments getting wiped out. Amazing people who have amazing fucking resumes, that have done amazing shit, that are responsible for the Beyoncés, the Kendricks, the Jay-Z's, the Kanyes. These motherfuckers are responsible for this shit. And they being fucking thrown away. That shit pisses me off. Because these are my brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? That shit pisses me off because it's all about capitalism. The first thing to go is the urban department. Everyone knows that. But we hold a fucking responsibility. I came from that, which now I'm doing the festival and shows, and now I see. Also, I'm on this side of it, but I see how to deal with these people, you know what I mean? How to deal with agents and all this shit. It be some bullshit and the egos and all this shit. I'm like, hey, man, you do realize you can play the festival this year and that shit changes because you getting exposed to 100,000 people. But niggas is like, it's not about relationships, right? Not even about the relationships. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's all about the dollar. And that shit is really putting a damper on this shit. Journalism is fucked up. You know what I mean? When we get into journalism, because now you got everybody with a microphone who don't have knowledge of the business, and now people taking their word. You got motherfuckers calling themselves DJs who don't touch turntables. I literally won't DJ a lot of shit. I won't DJ because I don't put into the craft like I used to. I don't practice. I practice, but I don't practice like the hours and hours of like I used to. I don't get to learn and know new shit and all this shit like I used to. So I don't even like calling myself a DJ because I respect the craft too much. Now you got fucking button pushers who calling themselves DJs who are not DJs. Fucking button pushers. Now you making the fucking watering the industry, watering DJing down. And we let them get a pass at that. She cute, so let's book her. Now fuck that. We got to get back to being assholes. They call us the gatekeepers. Gatekeepers got to be assholes. Everybody don't get in. You can't keep fucking watering this shit down. You can't keep letting bullshit ass artists, bullshit ass DJs, bullshit ass podcasters, bullshit ass whatever calling themselves journalists and all of this shit. And it's not real journalism. People ain't doing, they sit up here. I literally watch podcasts. I really watch shows and they interview people. And you asking this motherfucker questions. You like, that's not even the person you interviewing. You talking about this other person. Have you done your fucking research? It's people that went to school for this shit. They getting thrown away like, oh, their opinions don't matter and all this shit. And then you had these other people like, oh yeah, she cute. Don't want a podcast. Fuck that shit, man. That shit is crazy. And we also can't be afraid to be the asshole. Can't be afraid to be the asshole sometime, man. And today I feel like being an asshole. Why? Because if we don't be an asshole, if we don't protect our industry, if we don't protect our music, our industry, and it ain't even about protecting them from this person, protecting them that from like, you know what I mean? White man, this white man. No. Fuck that shit. We got to get back to protecting this shit from ourselves. This shit takes work, man. This shit take work. We know you can't become a fucking doctor by using the Cliff Notes. You got to go to school. You got to learn this shit. This shit is a It's not an overnight success in this shit, man. And we have made this shit look so easy and allowed people to come in this shit and just fuck up the game. And because we are, oh yeah, I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna rock the boat. Now we are where we are. Don't fucking make sense that some amazing people. And I can call them out. You know what I mean? These is my brothers and sisters, and I'm knowing what the fuck they put into this shit. I know what I put into it. You know what I mean? But I know what they put into it. Niggas is cold with this shit. You telling me these people are getting let go? They the first to go? Man, fuck that shit, man. We really all, like, artists, you hold a responsibility. You got to get back to doing this work. You know what I mean? You got to get back to doing the work. Stop being lazy. Labels, you know what I mean? You got to get back to investing in potential superstars. When you look at superstars, some of the biggest stars, if they came out right now, you'd never heard of them. You'd have never heard of Anita Baker today. You would have never heard of Aretha Franklin. You probably never would have heard of like Patti LaBelle, people like that. If you didn't have a certain look, it's not about voice, because there's some talented people out there. There's some very talented people out there, right? Even today, it's some extremely talented people who should be the biggest out, who should be huge, but they not because of certain things, right? But labels, you have to start getting back to investing in people, investing in the craft. If you want to get back, you can't just be like, man, this shit ain't never gonna come back. Like, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, man, we got to get back to that shit, man. We got to get back. This shit can travel all around the world and be successful. Got to get back to investing in people. We got to get back to the work. We got to get back to protecting our shit. We know what it takes to make stars. We know what it takes to break records. We got to get back to that shit, man. We got to get back to that. And I'm just saying, that's just, being a producer of shows. You look at us, you look at Essence, it's hard. It's hard. I'm like, man, Essence ain't got no, it's hard putting together a lineup because, you know what I mean? It's hard. It's very few. It's slim pickings out here. On a lighter note, man, FIFA, shout out to, the World Cup is here in the States. I have to say that I am a new fan of soccer, football, as a lot of people call it. I'm a new fan, and I became a big fan by watching certain players. And shit, to some of the players that I actually like and start watching the highlights of. Shout out to DJ Roster Root, my brother. They don't even play no more, but it made me become a fan, made me start understanding the game. But what I will credit the World Cup, fuck FIFA as an organization, but what I will give them is I've never seen this sense of fandom. It's not about a team, it's about your country. So when I'm seeing Haiti, when I'm seeing Cape Verde, Ghana, Mexico, Brazil, and I'm seeing like the sense of pride that they have. From seeing the kits, they call it the jerseys, the uniforms. They don't call them uniforms, they call them kits. From seeing the kits and then learning about the historical significance that the kits have, and learning why, why Haitians was rooting for Brazil. Shout out to, you know what I mean, my brother, Steve Canal, for teaching me these things. I'm learning so many things about the world outside of the United States as it pertains to sports. I'm happy about that. Like when you take a deep dive and you seeing the traditions, it's not just based on like the sport. It's based on like the history and what it really truly means to these teams and the people of these nations. You know what I mean? So shout out to Cape Verde, shout out to Haiti, shout out to all the teams that actually made the World Cup. And these nations is small nations to make this and be on the big forefront of the world. So, I think FIFA as an organization is hella corrupt, but shout out to them for that, for exposing me to that. But it's been some bullshit calls. It's been some bullshit, like, some teams and some players that have been getting away with some shit. There's teams, penalties and shit and that has been getting called. Iraq just got jerked last night. Iraq got jerked. They should have won that game, moved on to the next, but, of course, they made the call. Messi, as great as he is, been getting away with some bullshit. He should have had a red flag the other day. You know what I mean? He should have had a red flag like YG just the other day. He got away with some BS, and I think, they can't kick Messi out the game. Messi's the greatest player in the game today. Not my favorite, player of all time. My favorite player of all time is Pele and Ronaldinho, the people's champ. You know what I mean? Shout out to, root for hit. Like, if y'all don't know, if y'all ain't never watched, like song highlights and you feel like you ain't watch it, you can't watch it or whatever, go to YouTube and just take a deep dive into Ronaldinho Gaucho from Brazil. Just put in Ronaldinho and just watch the highlights and how he played the game. I guarantee you become a fan of soccer watching Ronaldinho, and you're going to learn other players. Fuck all that Messi shit. Messi learned the game from the people's champ, Ronaldinho. That's just my opinion. Rosteroo hit me to Ronaldinho, and then he changed his mind and started saying Messi was the greatest. I don't even think Messi's the best right now. I think Mbappe is the best. And again, Mbappe is cold. So shout out to Mbappe. Shout out to Cristiano Ronaldo, Vinicius Jr. Neymar is hurt, but, and Neymar being a Brazilian player. Then what's up with the Brazilian guys, man? Y'all got to stop all this partying, man. Y'all, as great as y'all are, y'all got to stop all this partying and be great in the sport. That's what shortened the people's champ, Ronaldinho's career. But the GOAT of all times is a black man named Pele. Fuck what you're talking about. No, but Pele is the GOAT. Pele is the GOAT, but the people's champ is Ronaldinho. Messi is great. Ronaldo is great. R9, Ronaldo from Brazil is a GOAT. But right now, my favorite player in the game, currently in the game, is Mbappe from France. Look him up. But before I, get up out of here, I have to say this. You haven't been seeing us, me, and the guy who I won't say his name, but I'm gonna actually say his name. You haven't been seeing opinions alike. Of course, I've been on the injured list. I stepped in for my DJ brother, DJ Swift, since he been on tour and been co-hosting, taking his spot, since he's keeping his spot warm until he comes back on the Conversate with Killer Mike show. But I have to say, I don't think opinions alike is ever coming back. And the reason is not coming back is because of one person. Courtney Bear. He's not from College Park. He's not from Anniston, Alabama. He's not from Connecticut. He's not from New York. I don't know where the fuck he's from, Seals. And the reason it's his fault is because he's done some underhanded shit too many times. I'm sick of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Today, I literally, first of all, let's go down the list of bullshit that Courtney has done. And he comes and he portrays himself to be big bro and all this shit, but really it's just a facade. He's a fucking hypocrite. And the reason the nigga is a hypocrite is because all the shit he's saying he's doing to help you is really to hurt you. I mean, it's down the list. Started with the martial arts. He's showing me moves. He's showing me this, that, and the other. Bam. Fucks up my shoulder. He dislocates my shoulder. It popped back in place, but he did it. I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but damage was done. All from trying to show some kung fu, some martial arts moves, and I thought it was an accident until I talked to all his other friends, and he's hurt. It's not been one that he hadn't hurt. From KP to Laren to K Wells. It's a long list, a long line of people who bears like, let me show you a move, let me help you out with this technique. Then he does something to damage these people. He even did it to Ashley, our producer. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or not. The point is, he's doing it, and that's an issue. That's issue number one. Issue number two. Now, everyone knows we started getting serious about riding bikes together. It happened when, this is how the bike thing started. My brother had taken ill, and I was like, man, shit, this nigga ill. I was, worried about him, and I was like, hey, man, maybe we can get on these bikes and start riding. Maybe that help you feel better. Get outside. And at this point, we was, we didn't even have the bikes. This was a while back. This had to be 10, it may have been like 10 years ago. We didn't even have road bikes. We had like hybrids. Again, we started riding, me and him. We started riding. Start riding more and more, start going from 3 miles to 6. But it was all started from the health thing. Like, let's get healthy together, man. We're going to get you back on your feet. We're going to get you to rolling. So, it came from a place of brotherhood. So we started riding. We started rolling riders. We started, we riding. We getting other people in the ride, and we get better bikes and better equipment. Fast forward, we riding. We both getting, we both getting into shape. I'm losing hella weight. He losing weight. We in the shape. Then the nigga, I'm riding, we doing 20, 30, 40. He had did the century ride. He comes to me one day and was like, hey, man, you really ain't riding unless you get the clip-ins. I was hesitant. I'm like, nah, I'm riding. I don't need no fucking clip-ins. I'm riding. Nah, you ain't riding unless you get the clip-ins. So I'm like, all right. On the word of big bro, not knowing he'll do some shit to harm me, I get the fucking clip-ins. Now, the first time I put on the clip-ins, I don't know if him and Tony got together and told them to do whatever to my clip-ins. I'm thinking that this is the way the clip-in's supposed to be. First time, the first ride, like the first minute, I put the clip-ins on, ride around the little in front of the bike shop, I fall. Him and Tony got the shit on tape, a video of me falling in front of the bike shop. The first time riding the clip-ins. I should have known then that it was finna be some bullshit. So I'm like, fuck it, all right, I get it. I got the hang of it. 2 days later, I get on the bike, fucking clip ins. Take a fall, broke my foot in 2 places, broke my ankle, and messed up my knee. My knee has not been the same. Now I got a fucking shoulder injury, a shoulder injury, and a knee injury. And I'm on fucking crutches and all this shit. Fucking with Bear. Fucking with him. Right? That's strike 2. Now strike 3. Now, I forgot. I don't even want to talk about how every time we get on the show, he would bring up my personal life and throw me under the bus and do shit like that. Do little shit like that. He had all his little some of the little Southside partners on my head. They was on me like, oh, they didn't catch that nigga, whatever. Because of the shit he said. And I laughed and whatever. Hella people run around here mad and upset with me because of Courtney. But I'm not physically injured. You know what I'm saying? So now he's affecting my personal life and my physical health. So me not knowing, I guess to my ignorance, because I'm like this big bro, there's another time he does some shit, and I just found this out today, some other shit he's done. This is the final nail in the coffin of me fucking with Lord. So, well, 2 things. I tell this nigga a vulnerable story when the shit happens, right? I get drugged. Whether it was intentional or unintentional, I got drugged. I'm paranoid. I call this nigga, like, hey man, I'm fucked up. I'm like, hey nigga, XYZ. He finds humor in the shit. He thinks it's funny that I got drugged. Like, that shit wasn't funny. But today, that's not even the final nail in the coffin. The final nail in the coffin is when I'm thinking there's a moment, my grandmother passed away. Rest in peace to my grandmother. He came to the funeral. I didn't know he was coming. He came to the funeral. Funeral was in Compton. He came. So I'm like, damn, bro actually came. You know what I mean? And my whole family is, don't make no mistake. You know what I mean? I'm true blue, but my whole family is Holly. They from the other side. You know what I mean? They're red rags. He comes to my grandmother's funeral. I'm thinking like, damn, man, Big Bro showed up. That's some big shit. You know what I mean? Like, not knowing, just like all other situations, he comes in to use this shit against me. I find out today, now he's been telling this bullshit story, which I'm not going to deny it. We don't get on here and lie. You know what I mean? At my grandmother's funeral, some dude got up and he sang a song where I don't really even know no gospel songs, really. But I don't know what song he got up there and sang. And I wouldn't, I didn't think it was funny at the time, but, if somebody saw it, they probably would have think it's funny. You probably would have thought it was a skit or something because I don't know what he was singing. I don't even know if he knew what he was singing. I know he thought he knew. He fucked up some of the words or whatever. But anyway, it's my grandmother's funeral, so I'm like, all right, I'm worried about grandma. So he's telling this story for the past 2-3 years. Today in our group chat, this damn scoundrel sends a video from my grandmother's funeral. So me thinking he came in and showing love at grandma's funeral. No, he came in this motherfucker like the paparazzi. Filming and kept this shit from grandma's funeral. And I found out today he did it as a joke in the group chat. I can't forgive this. Shoulder, knee, personal life. Now this. In a moment of grief and grieving, he uses this as some shit for his comedic banter or whatever the fuck it is. I can't forgive it. I can't do a show with a nigga who does this shit. And this ain't got nothing to do with my godson Slimer, my nephew Joe, Corey, and his wife Bean. This is just a beef, or Kira, or nobody else. This is just a beef with me and Loke. Shoulder, knee, ankle, heartbreak, damaging my name out here in these streets, and now this. You tell me, would you continue to fuck with this nigga? This nigga's a scoundrel. So that's why you ain't been seeing opinions alike. I don't know if we come back. If we come back, maybe it's a new co-host. Maybe it's Country Boy. Maybe it's anybody. The only way Loke is going to come back if there's a public apology given for his scoundrelness. I'm Moetown Lee. This has been my A-Ho opinion of the week. I'm gone.